Hello guys, tonight we want to check out some of the scariest videos and encounters that have scared us in the past. I hope you are dressed appropriately, because now we buckle up and stay frosty. Clara NS, a TikTok user from Germany, realized that the strange face was peeking out of a neighboring house just across the fence. It clearly was not belonging to any of the people who lived there. The question is, does this face belong to a person living in the house, or is it something completely different? This gets even more interesting a couple of days later. Good thing I speak German.
Da Leute, ich wollte gerade drehen, wieder das Haus, wo die zwei Augen sind. Und dort unten steht einfach ein Typ und schaut mich zu. Das ist gruselig.
Now the same face popped up again days after. The dude in front of the house, I don't think he had anything to do with it though. Were the eyes paranormal related? I couldn't say. Bo and Paddy Reynolds forwarded me the following video of Renault Ray's TikTok. A lightning ball seems to make its way over some train tracks. Full with electricity, it appears to also affect the surrounding area. Truly a magnificent event. What do you think? If not staged, what could have caused this ball of energy? And how can it travel just like that, hovering above the ground? Have you ever seen something similar occur? Let me know in the comments. Joey Nolan has uploaded this video, and he states that he and his wife have caught what appears to be an apparition coming out of the kitchen from the right and walking straight into the living room. They have a very young daughter as well as some cats, who they say could never have been the reason for this. Besides this capture, they regularly have their furniture moved as well as random disembodied voices that can be heard in their home. It clearly appears that a humanoid shape is walking into the wall. And then there are some other wispy shapes that are lingering around. What's your explanation for this? A spirit that is visiting the family. Really interesting is that the cat is not reacting at all. Maybe it's used to it already. Who knows? The next captures were uploaded by Defenderloa. He started a thread saying, a clear figure in the motion detection video thumbnail, but nothing in the video. He talks about his friend Kimberly that came home one night between 1 and 2 AM. Before going to bed, she wanted to let her father know that she made it home safe. As she was heading upstairs, she heard an odd noise coming from the main floor. All of a sudden, the alarm system went off. The family gathers, in shock of course, and it appears that nothing was out of place. except the garage door was found open, but no sign of an intruder. Their surveillance service provides them with motion sensing cameras, which send snapshots to the user's phone whenever motion is being detected. This unsettling image was sent to her dad's phone. Looks like a lady in a nightgown with no face. Nobody in the family knew anybody who looked remotely like that. And the video recording of that particular night shows no sight of the lady. To this day, it could not be explained what transpired in this house. Next, we want to check out the case of Fernanda, who moved into a new place with her little daughter, and who thinks that there might be a negative spirit roaming this place. At least there are some paranormal events unfolding that make her think that. Her little daughter also seems to see the spirit of a girl, which is what she tells her mom ever so often, capturing different activity almost on a daily basis. Fernanda started documenting them all and sharing them with her followers. Let's take a look. The entity loves to push her daughter's dolls from the upper shelf. And apparently also likes to go for a little snack in the midst of day. It appears to be a playful spirit, doesn't it? On one of the following days, Fernanda realizes that there seems to be something happening again in her home, and she makes it up to the upper floor of the house to further document the weird events. First, she goes through all the rooms, like the bathroom and bedroom, since she thought she might have heard a voice coming from there, which is pretty odd. But something even more terrifying was waiting for her a bit later, once the sun had vanished. A shadow girl, or a woman for that matter, just stands there and apparently staring at her. This startled her quite a bit, and what could it have been? She found mud and footsteps in her house shortly after, which was weird since it hasn't rained there or was muddy outside at all. So Fernanda decides to use some baby powder on the floor to track if anything strange can be detected walking through the house again that shouldn't be there in the first place. And in her next update, she shows that actually there appeared to be something walking through the powder. And the size of the prints are pretty much inexplicable, since they don't own a pet that could have caused them. Of course it could have been rats, but they probably would have smaller imprints than that. But what's even more unsettling is that the prints lead to one of her closets. And funny enough, whatever walked through the powder also seemed to walk on the closet door, which is pretty wild if you think about it.
Amigos, solo quiero grabar este video para documentar que hoy a las 3:08 de la mañana se está escuchando que alguien está tocando la puerta de mi casa, lo cual es muy extraño porque para eso tuvieron que abrir el portón eléctrico primero.
Then, 3 o'clock at night, she gets woken up by really loud bangs stemming from the outside of her door, and she says that whoever entered the property must have made it through an electric gate, which is technically impossible. Where did those noises stem from?
Amigos, solo quiero grabar este video para documentar que hoy a las 3:08 de la mañana se está escuchando que alguien está tocando la puerta de mi casa, lo cual es muy extraño porque para eso tuvieron que abrir el portón eléctrico primero. No hay nadie afuera.
In the next update, she says that she believes that a creature with a tail is responsible for that. It is an urban legend and she thinks that she has seen it briefly before it disappeared that night into the closet. How odd. And sure enough, within the closet, there are some scratch marks that have been caused. Ah, that's pretty unsettling. And there is a fingernail. It doesn't belong to an animal. It looks human, to be honest. And what does all of that mean? Was it a human inside the closet that was scratching? Unlikely. Maybe something paranormal related. I'll keep you guys posted. Now, we wanna look at the updated case of El Franco, who thinks that an evil entity is inheriting his old apartment. He decided to place a night camera in his room, because he doesn't feel safe there anymore. A bite mark on his arm is proof for his concerns. And yes, shortly after setting everything up, he became witness to some unusual activity that unfolded during his sleep. Looks like a ton of orbs and an inexplicable object right in front of the lens. Even when not asleep, stuff just starts happening in his room. This night, the door just opened to his room, although he was the only person home and all 3 of his cats were with him. So what could have caused that? At least he was suspicious at that point. But it got better. Something was tampering with the tower of his cats. And the following night, the entity opened the door again. Maybe just to say hi. Very unsettling. Another time he was just playing with one of his cats, and there appears to be something peeking around the corner that some say is terrifying.
Hey!
Some viewers say it is the head of a female. Could it be? But how? And where did it go? Convinced that it is in fact the spirit of a female, he tries a ritual in the bathroom to get rid of her.
Traigo una vela y un espejo y voy a poder hablar con ella. Amiga, por favor, te pido que me dejes solo. Te lo pido, por favor. Amiga, por favor, te pido que me dejes solo. Te lo pido, por favor.
What do we make out of that? Did the spirit answer, or is some foul play involved here? Almost a little bit too creepy, to be honest. He catches her staring, now almost on a daily basis. Wouldn't you be terrified at this point? Is it a demon or a shadow figure? Or maybe both? If it isn't a hoax, of course. And sometimes it's just the cats that give him a good spook. Thank God, right? But this must have been one of the most terrifying captures that his night camera could capture. Look at the eye that is definitely looking at him. I mean, it is pretty safe to say that this must be a demon, if it isn't just a friend in a mask. Were you creeped out? Let me know. The following videos were recorded by Sarah G, and it is believed that paranormal events could be captured here. It all started while she was recording a video. And something has thrown one of her wigs down, which is pretty odd to say the least. Only a couple of days later, another oddity is being captured in the back. It's a shadow apparition walking across the floors. What follows is a tour of her place, and she tells the viewers about all the weird things that have transpired after the first incident, but which couldn't be recorded. On another day, she even has the feeling that something followed her home. This night she was preparing another skit for her account, when all of a sudden the power shut off. And then there was darkness. After flipping the breaker switch, there was something really unsettling being captured. Looks like a sinister face. Is it a demon? On the following day, she captured this moth, and she believes that there was something wrong with it. What do you think? Just a vivid imagination or paranormal related? This video was sent by Max, and it features Mexican security guard Francisco Ojeda, who gets quite disturbed one night during one of his shifts. He works in a facility, and he stated that he had never come across these strange events before. Let's see.
Se escuchan cosas, güey, y... No mames, se escucha la puta regadera, güey, del puto baño, güey. No mames.
Apparently noises are the cause for his distress, and when he enters the washroom, he can capture even more.
No mames, Cuchi, güey. No seas ojete, güey. No mames. No mames, güey. Hay alguien, güey. No mames. No mames. No mames.
A pale face is peeking around the corner, seemingly looking at Francisco. Is it paranormal related though? And was it the cause for the many odd noises on the premises? If it isn't anything mysterious, maybe it was just a colleague or some Photoshop, who knows. Thanks for watching, guys.